Hi, my name is Eamon Glavin. I'm a rowing filmmaker from Philadelphia, and this video is all about the destruction down here on the Schuylkill River after Hurricane Ida, I think it was. So we had basically 24 hours of torrential downpour and then some of the most massive amount of flooding I've ever seen. Like where I'm standing now was all underwater. I'll have drone footage and everything, but enjoy these pictures. I don't know. See what it's like when havoc is wreaked here on the Schuylkill River. I figured I'd do a bit of voiceover of what we're seeing on screen right here. This is a video that Chet sent me of the flooding at the peak in Conshohocken. And on the left side there, you can just see the Conshohocken Rowing Center with the water all the way up to the top of the brick, which means the bays are covered. This is Boathouse Row. They seem to actually come out a little bit better than I would have expected. Still bad, but not quite as bad as Conshohocken it looked like. This is the speed and height of the water level when I first arrived at Conshohocken. The water level is usually about 12 feet lower. Here's a photo I took a week before. So this is the first thing I saw when I walked up to the boathouse. Just cracked in half singles. I checked my boat, top right, that one's fine, so I was very thankful, but the racks that hold the boats were flipped over. Just ore strewn all over the place, mud everywhere. This is the center bays in the Conshohocken Rowing Center. The two single racks flipped, boats falling off the racks, being held on by other boats. The water went up to here, which means all these boats that were below it got so much mud, and some of them were strapped down. So we had, a bunch of strapped down. So like this one was strapped down. Right? So it's actually not too bad. Pretty muddy. This one was not. We got dense, like not just dense, like broken. All the mud is in here, but everything that was at this rack and above was good-ish. This is an untouched bay from the Malvern side, so you can just see the absolute destruction, especially with that one single. It's just totally destroyed. Here's the mud height and how much mud we had to push out of there. Here's a close-up of us trying to fix the eights, but we had to move the singles in the center. And you can see the stair height where the water got to because the mud level. The agape absolutely cracked and so much water pouring out of these boats the whole time. And then we brought in some professional power washers, so they, basically, the boat bays look almost as good as new now, but there was a lot of work that went into cleaning them up a lot. Okay, so welcome to White Marsh. That's where the water is now compared to where I was, but just destruction everywhere. Like all the way in the back there. It's like expensive pickup sticks. The biggest issue was there were a lot of boat racks outside and they kind of got washed away pretty easily. Some of the most sad images I've ever seen. Docks uprooted. We did find a launch in a tree.
Come on! Get your blades in! God damn.
Should have said, rowing like you're rowing through mud. And Villa Maria are called the hurricane, so kind of apt. Hi, welcome to 6 ABC Action News. We are here live at the Upper Schuylkill River, down here at White Marsh. We're going live to Chet Bickott.
Well, thanks, Bob. Looks like the rain has stopped for now, but my meteorologist foreknowledge says that it might keep raining sometime this afternoon. Water levels seem to be a little high, but they look like to be draining. The mud here, you guys can see the sediment from the water, but I don't think we're going to be getting any more mud.
Thanks for that riveting insight, Chet Bickott. More sick. So after a long morning at the boathouses, I dropped my friend back off at home and came back later in the afternoon with my reel camera to capture the destruction.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Craig Hoffman, Executive Director of the CRC. We've sustained a lot of damage, but through some really strong efforts today, we've gotten it so that Everything is bound up for Tuesday. We had multiple boats damaged, quads, doubles, eights, but everything is racked and everything is cleaned out. I encourage everybody to be safe. It's still a dangerous situation out there, and have a happy Labor Day weekend.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, single has buckling right here, cracked like an eggshell, needs help. There's bubbling here.
Looks like where it just got hit.
Like it floated up and
hit
just
it.
banged.
Yeah.
Quad, severely damaged. The strapped-on quad made out really well. Fist-sized dent was on the floor this morning. Absolutely tilted in. Strapped single seems to be all right again, and it was underwater. This single was off the rack. It must have floated off and come down easy. No damage right now that I can see. The top single was fine. That's yours. Absolutely cracked again. So I think we're 5 singles. The 2 4s we haven't looked at did not make out well. Unstrapped, absolutely damaged. Empocker does not appear to be damaged, but it was hanging off the rack when we came in this morning. On the door, you can see it's like 8 or 9 foot line. Right here's our line. And you can see the river in one day has already gone down 16 feet. So, yeah, all the way up there. So everything below here, excuse me, was wet. Top rack was not touched. All the oars were down.
And if you come around to the other side, you'll see where when the boats were tossed, riggers went right into the boat here, the side here, pushing in. Major damage, major damage.
These quads are a mess. This got some damage here on this one. This one appears to be all right, but this one here has some major damage right here. The rack itself is bent. Wow. That's a lot of force. That is. It's how hard those boats want to float.
So we don't want to walk down onto the dock just because we've lost a couple of the cables holding it, and the arms are really all that's left, because the actual hinge itself is starting to split. Yeah, I don't want to push one back in the water just to see it sink. Well, I went down to White Marsh and I thought one of the ramps up on the bank might have been our handicap one, because our handicap one's gone.
How? Goes into the tree. We've got some destruction. All here, this tipped over and just like collapsed onto boats. So what's the damage? Where was this?
So this trailer was in between the Heinz Rowing Center building and the Mount building, and swam itself downriver, sitting up on the fence now. The 2 8s we think are going to be a total loss. We're going to try and get the 4s off. I think we'll be okay. We had another 4 on the racks. Yeah, it's missing the whole bow.
See the end. Yeah. That launch was down on that.
Yeah, it was on top of that, and then the 8 on the other side is cracked in half.
Yeah.
The water was higher than this.
It had to be
fort.
11 feet.
Yeah, it was over this that fort. So these red racks that you see over here, with the buoyancy of the boats, they ended up, we just put these back in place, but this is what it looked like before we put it back in place. The posts came right off and the boats floated downstream with the water. And if
they just lifted off.
They lifted right off of this because of the buoyancy. We thought they would hold because of the concrete, but they
just floated away.
Yeah, the water was exactly, and it got it up high enough because the boats were still on it that it used the buoyancy of the boats to lift it up, and it ended up downstream. I mean, look at the boats down there. See, there's the red racks that we're talking about.
God,
that's where my daughter's boat was. This was the rack that was closest to the Mounts building. You can see how high the water. There's life vests up in that tree. There's a launch down There's a launch down there. Yeah, I mean, there's a life vest up at the tree right there. I mean, that's 10 feet up in the air. We had to hold the rack up before we took the boat, before we undid the straps on the boats, because the rack would have then collapsed on the boat and probably damaged the boat before we even had a chance to get it off. I'm sure by the end of the weekend it'll look like a heck of a lot better.
Through, came off, these things were bolted into those things. But there's another rack that appeared.
Yeah, that was on wheels, and it drifted over.
Like this one just looks fine. It was literally a lottery if your boat survived.
It really was. It's concrete, it's buried down into the blacktop, and it's the power that pulled it out.
Broken.
Yeah, I'm real good. It's still strapped.
This is what cosmetic damage.
It'll buff out.
Yeah, my dad's got hundreds of tools.
He's got the whole big lightweights.
Not too shabby. I'm not sure how they did up there. Like where did all the mud that's currently in it, how high did it go? That's the way to tell is the stairs. So you take 1, 2, 3. Okay, so basically it got to this height. So anything below that had a pretty good chance of getting destroyed. Tell. It's just crazy.
He's trying to get the top of the bucket underneath the edge.
Okay, let's go inside White Marsh. Welcome to White Marsh. A lot of stuff actually cleared out here.
It wrapped up for the work. The rack didn't stay.
That's very cool. Take this bag of shit. And I finally just got like a... Coach is figuring out what has happened right now. Looking at the dock for the first time. Just mud everywhere. Welcome to my new editing studio. That's pretty much everything I recorded yesterday that wasn't complete garbage, but there was actually a lot of garbage. Anyways, lots of destruction. The water levels were much higher than anyone anticipated. There's a lot of insured boats and uninsured boats that were completely destroyed, total losses. It's going to be a lot of cleanup with all the debris and the mud and sludge that was just left around. You saw plenty of that. But hopefully things can get back to normal in a week and a half. Pretty soon. I mean, we'll hopefully be able to go row when the water level gets back down to normal. There's still going to be a ton of debris. But anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed or just saw what it was like for the total destruction down there on the Upper Schuylkill. So, see ya.